I have a question for you. Do you own a mannequin? And if you do, don't you just get this feeling like one day you just wake up and the mannequin will be standing there with a dagger in its hand just about to stab you? I don't know. Whenever I want to get a mannequin, I just get that thought in my head and I'm like, hell no, I'm not getting that. Tell me that I'm not the only one who thinks that. Anyway, on to today's tutorial, and today I'm teaching you, wait for it, ta-ta-da! How cute is this? It's made from Cricut, completely from Cricut, and you don't even need a sewing machine for this because you're gonna hand sew this. Let's do it, girls! So for this tutorial, you'd be needing scraps of vinyl or glitter vinyl or leather, whatever you have. Iron-on vinyl from Cricut. This is to make the decals or monograms, whatever you want. Then you would need the weeding tool, the spatula, the tweezer, maybe or maybe not. And of course you need your cutting mats, the standard cutting mat and the strong grip cutting mat. I hope you can see it. This is the purple one over here. And of course you would be needing your mighty Cricut Maker machine. So get your supplies and of course your sewing machine. So get your supplies and let's get started with this super cute project. For this project we would be using the deep cut blades. So if you have the rotary blade in place, just remove it and replace it with your deep cut blade. So we're going to start off by cutting out these pieces first and we're going to do the iron on later. Okay, to cut out your pattern, first go to Cricut Design Space and then go to New Project. Then click on Projects on the left-hand side and in the search bar type Golden Palm Tiny Tote and just search for it and there you go. This is the cute little tote that we're going to work on today. Just click on it and click on Make It. Now, if you want, you can first save this whole document to refer to it later by just going to Print over here. And then make sure that this over here, Save as PDF, is selected. If it's not, just go to Change and you can just select from here, Save as PDF. And then just save this on your computer. Next, just click on Make It so that you can load the mats and stuff. You can cut this whole thing out. So make sure that you have this thing loaded on your screen. And I'm only going to cut out 2 mats from this project. I don't want this palm leaf. I'm going to use my own decal. So I'm going to just skip this one. I'm only going to cut the first and the third mat. So for my strap, I'm using cork fabric. To cut cork, make sure you select Faux Leather from the menu and increase your pressure to more instead of default, because if you select default, it's not gonna cut it properly. So make sure you select default and just click continue and start cutting. Now it's time to cut the vinyl. I'm using vinyl for the body, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, and I'm gonna skip this mat because I don't want this leaf. I'll be using my own decal, so I'm just gonna go to mat number 3. Now it's time to place the black vinyl on the mat, and since we're using vinyl, which is faux leather, just go back and select default pressure and load your mat on your machine. So I've already placed the vinyl on the mat. Now I'm just gonna get it cut. Now just scrape the whole thing off using a spatula. Do not use your hand at any cost. Now it's time to cut your decal. So to make a custom decal to put on your tote, first go to Projects and then go to New from the left hand side. And first we are going to create a template so that we know the size of our tote and we can easily fit the decal onto it. So I'm just going to use a shape as a guiding tool, and the size of the tote is 3.5 inch by 5.5 inch. So it's going to be 5.5 inch wide and 3.5 inch tall. So just go to the size option at the top of the menu and enter the width and the height, and you would see that when I change the width, the whole square changed, like the length and width changed together. That's because the dimensions are locked, and you can see over here at the bottom left corner. So you need to unlock this whole thing by just clicking on the lock icon, and this should open up like this. So once that's done, go back to your height and change it to 3.5. So there you go. You have the perfect height and width of the tote. Now you can easily make a decal that can fit inside this. So I'm just gonna go to text, and you can just choose anything you want. Maybe you want to write the person's name for whom you're making this, or anything that comes to your mind. So I'm just gonna write Supergirl. Now you can easily customize this whole thing. You can change the fonts by going to the fonts over here. There are lots of different type of fonts that you can go for. So I want some handwritten nice font for this thing. So you can go ahead and try different fonts out, see whatever you like best and just go for that one. So I finally decided on my font. Now another cool thing about Cricut Design Space is what you can do is increase the space between the letters if you want to, by just going to letter space at the top of the menu and using the cursors over here. So increasing will increase the space and decreasing will decrease the space between the two. So once you're happy with how everything looks, how your text looks, just place your text onto the rectangle, and if you want, you can make it smaller or larger, however you want it. So I want it to be like a medium sized in the center. So this is how I'm just gonna place it so that it's not covering the entire panel. So this is how I like it. So once you're happy, just delete this rectangle because we don't want this. We just want the text. And if you want, you can save it and then just click on make it. And since we're using iron on, we have to make sure that it's mirrored. So just select mirror from here and then continue. Now it's time to load the mat. From here, select iron on and go ahead and load the mat on your machine. So here's my iron on already on the mat. So I've already cut out my vinyl to be exact same size of this text so that I don't end up wasting anything because it is so expensive, I swear. So, and as you can see, I'm using the green standard grip mat. So go ahead and do that and load and cut your vinyl out. Now it's time to remove the vinyl from the mat. So just hold your mat, twist it, and peel the vinyl off the mat. Now it's time to remove all the useless parts from the vinyl, like for example the middle part of the E. So you can just use your weeder tool and you can see how easily it comes off. Okay, now it's time to attach the vinyl on your tote. So go ahead and take your tote piece, make sure your iron is on, just peel your vinyl and stick it where you want it to be. So I want it roughly somewhere in the middle over here. Make sure it's perfectly centered. Place your pressing cloth because you don't want vinyl to melt. Now use medium to low heat to transfer the iron-on onto your faux leather. Okay, looks like it's all done. Now I'm just gonna peel off the vinyl. Alright, so this is what you should have. Now we're just gonna assemble this whole thing. So first of all, take your handles and just stitch them so that they're centered. You can just place them based on approximation, making sure that they're perfectly centered. I'm just gonna use my glue to hold it in place till I take it to my machine. I'm gonna do the same for the other side. I'm gonna use my ruler as a guide to tell me where I need to place the strap. Now I'm just gonna top stitch on all the strap pieces. Alright, now I'm just gonna use needle and a thread to whip stitch this whole thing together. I'm gonna start off from these edges. So when you have reached the end, to tie off the thread, what you can do is take your thread and bring it to the wrong side and pass it from underneath the stitch, and then just tie a knot over here. All done. So now your thread is secure and you can just snip off the excess. Alright. Your super adorable tiny tote is now ready. You can just insert a gift card or cash or whatever you want and present it to the person you love. Anyway, on to today's tutorial. I just don't like my eyebrows sticking out. Makes me look so weird. One day, I'm gonna sort things out and make this look presentable. I promise. I'm gonna do it one day. Just wait for it. It's coming. It's coming, girls.